Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, flying from Massachusetts and New Orleans to hang out with us here in Redmond. As Neil mentioned, the opportunity for responsible AI is enormous, and the role of partnership in that is absolutely critical. We know AI is moving fast. Did you get the memo? Have you heard it enough times? It's moving really fast. We're on the same page? Good. Policy around AI, also moving really fast. So let's start with AI. How, in the world of communication technologies and the products that your organizations work with, build, co-create with disability communities, how is communication technology being impacted by AI today? Blair, we're going to start with you.
It's changed quite a bit over time. I remember when my good friend Steve Gleason was diagnosed with ALS in 2011, there weren't many options. There weren't many choices. And when he founded Team Gleason, he did it with the mindset and mission to provide and advance access to the tools that give people the ability to be independent, right? To be mobile, to communicate, to look and pursue purpose like we all do in life. But to do that, it really requires a team. And we have a very strong team at Team Gleason, but we can't do it alone. And you're probably wondering why I'm here, because we are the people in the sense that the engineers, the people in this room, Microsoft, it's a combination of community, right, advocacy, industry, and then the durable medical equipment field. Why is that important? It's because this is the only way that we scale access, that we actually are able to provide more options. And without collaboration, innovation is impossible and access is impossible as well.
And at Tobii Dynavox, how is AI coming into play?
Well, let me tell you, at Tobii Dynavox, one of the big things that we believe is people with communication impairments have the right to do what they once could or never thought possible. So I have to go back a little bit when I meeting both Mary and Steve Gleason 15 years ago when Steve was diagnosed with ALS. Right. I remember being in the room with my partners, and one of the things if Steve could not just be plugged into a wall to be able to communicate, but the second thing was we were so excited that he could put 3 words together in a minute. And now what AI brings is not just, I could sit and talk about speed, I could talk about all the interesting things it does, but I'm going to tell you what is most important to us. It's engagement, it's being in the minute. And now people can participate, people can be in that conversation. One of the best compliments of AI was when a dad came to me with a child with cerebral palsy and said, "Oh my God, my daughter has a sense of humor." He would have never known that. She was lifetime doing jokes and being responsive and being in that conversation. That's what all these years as an assistive technology company, been in it for 25 years. I was 2 when Jenny was 3, in developing, and it's changed so much. We did hardware, software, we got the foundation. Now is where we get the excitement to be able to do it and bring it better.
And we know that just like with all great things, none of this happened overnight, right? Years and years of iterating and trying to make it better and staying committed to what the user experience is. And I think there's more to share today. So Blair, what's new?
A lot, obviously, this whole thing AI, but looking at the impact, Team Gleason is now receiving over 850 requests a month, and that is for the technology and equipment, as I mentioned, to keep people mobile and independent. But today, we're really excited to announce our voice preservation dashboard. Neil mentioned it. What is the voice preservation dashboard? It is a singular interface that allows somebody with ALS, in our case, to go bank their voice. And the really neat part about this is, we're putting the ownership in the community's hands. So in this example, the phrases will be stored in OneDrive, right? So we're talking about privacy and security in mind. And then you look at what else is important, options, right? So having options on the back end. When you look at ease of access, usability, this has been a very difficult thing for people with ALS, and we are receiving and providing about 2,000 voices a year. And so without a tool like this, we couldn't actually support people in a customized way. And honestly, this is what the community has dictated they need. So the other really neat part about this is, we're releasing as one of the voices, Microsoft's custom voice. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a big deal, so everybody should be very proud. You know, when I look at what custom voice is and what the dashboard is, I go back to how it all started. And Mary, you know very well because you were a part of it. You know, back in and around 2021, there's a Microsoft employee, good friend of mine by the name of Bernice Yu. She is living with ALS today. Her and one of our board members, Phil Green, who has since passed away last year, person living with ALS, you know, they really articulated, as well as the larger, broader community through our programs, that this need is not just a domestic need, it's an international need. You know, and we got together, we brought actually Microsoft, Google, Acapella, you know, and the reason behind it wasn't about a tool for a company. It was about collaboration, innovation, community, and impact. You know, and that's what separates, I think, what we do from everybody else is it requires a team. And you have to have all the moving parts, the components, but at the core of it is the community, right? And that's how and why we're excited about this new tool, this new advancement.
And there are and were and will continue to be a lot of moving parts. Aaron Gustafson in the room here today led an amazing effort to try and get custom voice available through the dashboard, giving people options. It really has been a collective effort. And Tobii Dynavox has been involved as well. How is the dashboard working with Tobii stuff?
Hey, Tara, if you don't mind, can I thank Aaron as well?
Sure, please do.
There's
please
always
do.
room for gratitude. Go for it, Blair.
Look, I look at this journey, and at times, Mary, you know, you'd say my crazy, but my crazy was the community's needs. And I'm here only because I have a group of people and a team that trust me to actually speak on their behalf. But it really requires a good team and a team that even when they have a lot going on and you're experiencing challenge and you don't know how you're going to get to the next phase of a product, a software, it's people like Aaron, Mary, yourself, you know, that make this really possible. And so just know that when you hit these roadblocks, Aaron, you can now be the spokesperson. You know, people have all experienced this. But why we're here is, as I mentioned, is what the outcome needs to be. So I have to point out gratitude for yourself, Jenny, Neil, the entire Microsoft team, everybody today, Aaron, and everybody that came before.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot of people all working together. And where does the dashboard come into play in your world?
Well, I put up with this crazy for a lot of years.
True.
Thank you, Mary.
You're in good
Thank you,
company.
Aaron, for helping us. But one of the great things is actually I'm here to announce that Tobii Dynavox and our partners with Acapella and our partners with Microsoft and Team Gleason will be offering custom Microsoft voices by the end of the fall. So we're really super excited because we can't do it by ourselves. We need to offer choice.
Choice also means we do need to offer it with any company. So the goal is, if I may.
Sure. You got the mic.
We want to see every voice provider, you know, as an option. Why? Because people need options. You know, and the cool part about what this tool is it's future-proofed, right? People own their own recordings means whatever comes out in a week, a month, a year, they have access to.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really important milestone, and we know that we've worked together long enough that you're never, ever done. So, Tara, what comes next? What do you want the room to know?
Ooh, lots. First and foremost is AI, making sure that we get it out there and it's responsible. All of our partnerships, all of our developers, everybody that does this takes it, our community, and make sure that we do it responsibly. But also part of it is we said, this is the fun part for us, 25 years of foundation building. Now it's allowing people with communication disabilities to be themselves. However, we need to get lawmakers. We need to make sure they're not making barriers. We need to make sure that we get educators, healthcare providers, researchers, developers, all together to really take speech and individualization to the next level.
I agree. There's too many barriers that we see at this point. I'm just going to mention this crowd, and I'll talk about it probably a little bit more later. We are actually working to make sure a piece of legislation that is being proposed in the state of California by Senator Becker, Bill SB 1000, may limit access to some of these tools that people need and use on a daily basis. And that's not something we stand for, because the future, honestly, is these tools. How AI integrates is going to allow our friends, communities that need these tools to speak with tone, inflection, to be able to tell their children they love them in whatever way they want to tell them that, right? Whether that's on social media or that's in person with an a cappella voice, a custom voice from Microsoft, or any other voice. We are here, and we've got to make sure the tools and the great people that represent the tools are here to stay with us. That is what Steve set us out to do. That's who we are on the stage as partners. And that is no white flags.
Never given up. I can tell you, you have never given up. We're never going to give up. And I love that all of this is about not if technology can do something, but just a conversation about how do we do it responsibly, right? We have to do it with people. That's what makes it real. Thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. Keep making it real and enjoy the rest of your summit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.